Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miel Hebraica, Hebrew Honey, and today we're looking at Psalm 23. I had taped a program on Psalm 23. Wasn't exactly happy with it, so I'm doing it again, and after some more clarity of thought, it's a well-loved psalm, one of the favorite psalms in the Psalter, and so it's a great blessing to take a look at this psalm. Every time I look at it, I see something more. It's really quite a profound and very beautiful psalm. It's well written. It's got some very great visual pictures in it. I think the last time I taped it, I maybe wasn't making good reference to those visual pictures. So let's get to it. And this is the Sazon Codex. So these things are available online and in high definition. I mean, you see things very, very clearly here. And it's generally quite complete until you get to the last two lines, and then there'll be a section missing, but we can restore that with newer electronic pieces. We can just patch in there. You can see the pieces that were worn away in ancient times. It dates from about the year 900, and so it's a very ancient document. And so it's a beautiful piece of material to be working with, and I'm very appreciative that now it's all available online. It used to be very hard to get a hold of this kind of original material, and now it's very much available and very much it's a great blessing to be able to use it. So Mishmor la David, this is a psalm of David. Mishmor. I always roll my R when I see the Mishmor. It's a sort of visualize the harp strumming from David. Mishmor le David. Okay. By the way, in many of our versions, they don't bother with Raphe, but the Raphe is in here, and Raphe just simply means this is a smoother. Just flatten out the sound a little bit. Okay, le David. Not a great. That's why modern translations, they don't bother or modern versions, they don't bother putting it in. It doesn't add or subtract much to see that, but it is a little bit of a help as to just how it smooths, how it kind of smooths along. Okay, think of it as a paving block. Okay, boom, it smooths it out. Okay, so Mishmor la David, Yehovah ro'i lo etzar. Yehovah. As everyone knows by now, when looking at my videos, I use the divine name. Okay, in Jewish readings, you'd have to say Adonai Roi. Okay, you'd have to put in the substitute, the kare. Putting in the substitute here gives up a few things, and this is why I insist on still using what I would call the original reading of this, the Yehovah, because Yehovah starts with the Yod, and this Yod is kind of a key thing in the whole structure of how it's pronounced and how it's understood. Yehovah, and then you got Yeresheni, and you have Yechaleni, and you have Yecheni, Yecheni, and so the Yod is first there's a third person, prefix form of the verb. So Jehovah, the existing one, okay, Jehovah. We're kind of wondering why or how you would pronounce this. Just compared to some of the names that we know very well, Yehoshaphat, and the title that was given to this place in Moriah, Yahweh Yoreh. Okay, Yehovah Yoreh. Yeah, I fudged that a little bit, but you get the idea. Yod He Vav He, Yehovah, and Yehoshua. Okay, Yehoshua, Jehovah saves. Okay, Yeho. Okay, so Yehovah Roi, looks to me, pastures me, shepherds, is my shepherd. It's one of these things where you're using a participle as a noun, and so he's my shepherd. Roi, my shepherd. This is also you start out the sequence with third person prefix form on the front here, and you end each sequence here with the yod as a first person at the end. So Yehovah Yoroi, and you got Ye Revisheni, you got Yod Yod, you got Ye Nahaleni, you got Yod Yod here. Yod starts it, Yod ends it, and then over here, Yeshovev, Ye Yanacheni, Yahaneni. Almost the same word here. This one has an extra lamed in the middle of it, but it basically means the same thing. You can see why in poetry you want to have things that rhyme. So you got a set of words here that all rhyme, and they all start with a yod and end with a yod here. All of these verbs here, except this one's prefixed in first person with an aleph. But all of these end in nun yod, nun yod, nun yod. To me, to me, to me, to me. So Yehovah Roi, Jehovah is my shepherd. Jehovah shepherds me, just keeping more of the participial verbal sense of what's happening here. So Yehovah Roi, and the picture that we would carry here is the shepherd out in the fields leading his sheep. Okay, this is incidentally in the Middle East, if you're going to have sheep, it's the dog that chases the sheep. It's the shepherd that leads them. Okay, so if you're going to need somebody to chase it, get the dog to do that. If you have the shepherd and they follow his voice, as Jesus made very clear in some of his teachings. So, and that's one thing we should also recognize the voice of Yehovah. So Jehovah. So Yehovah Roi, lo, etzar, not. This is a lo, negative right here. Lovely long lamed here. The lameds are all stretched out. This is a characteristic of, sometimes I wonder, I think right here, this one might have been fixed and then they left the original lamed way high. Okay, it's about 3 times the height of the normal letter here. So the scribes were in a competition just to see how tall they could make their lameds. Here they go. Lo, hetzar, first person prefix form. And so, yeah, this is a hetzar. I will not wash away. Okay. Now, I go back to the original meaning of this particular noun because when you have the translations we've had up to now, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. When I was a young person, I had a very hard time figuring out why wouldn't I want the shepherd? It didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense with me. Learned Spanish. This is Jehová es mi pastor, nada me faltará. So okay, nothing is faulting to me. Okay, I understood a little clearer. And now the translations go, nothing is lacking to me. The thing of the word nothing, that tends to make the psalm what I call materialistic. Okay, then we start looking for things that we're not missing. Actually, it's the actions of the Lord that we are not missing. The Lord, it's the Lord that's doing a whole lot of things for us. And so this makes this psalm very, very dynamic. I think that's why it's well loved. And so Hetzar is, I won't wash out. I won't wash away. And the word Hetzar here is, if you're looking into the scriptures and doing comparative meanings of what this word is, Hetzar, it's when you get to the story of the flood, and the flood is over, and the waters are flowing off. They're flowing into the abysmus again. And that's the sense of this word, hetzar, to flow away, to wash out, to flow away. So it's the psalm is very dynamic. The Jehovah is watching over us, and we are being protected. We're kept from sliding down slippery slopes. That's hetzar. Okay? I will not slide off. I will not wash out. Benot, this is in Deshet, in pastures. Benot, this is a in, that's a preposition of in. Beno, this is a pasture. Nahal, and then plural, okay? This is a feminine plural of benot. Deshe, of green stuff, okay? Deshe. We're going to get a verbal form of this one later into the psalm, but this is a beautiful picture. It's the very same word that we see in Genesis 1, and the Lord said, "Let there be deshet." Okay, Behit deshet, and so deshet's the green stuff, the green things, beautiful green things. If you've ever been to the Middle East and everything looks pretty brown, especially in dry season, everything looks very brown. And the only time you're going to find deshet is when somebody's watered the vegetation, and then all of a sudden there it is, a very green spot. If you see it very clearly down Jericho. You get down to Jericho, and you got very powerful desert on one side, and all of a sudden the other side, boom, it's just as green as all can get out. The reason is that part has lots of irrigation. So deshet, okay. So benot deshet. Yervasheni, Yarvasheni. Rav is stretches. Rav is much or stretched out, and so the root here is Rav, to be stretched out, and so he stretches me out. In other words, it's kind of like, okay, here's a beautiful green pasture, beautiful green lawn, and it's great place to just stretch out and relax. So he stretches us out on a beautiful green lawn, lots of green grass around, lots of in a very prosperous place, because water is valuable. So it's the Lord provides the water for the green grass here. Yerbasheni, he stretches me out. He makes me lie down. So it's that's the third person prefix form here, yar, and then first person suffixed here, yerbasheni. He stretches me out. Okay. Almeh, on waters. This is a construct plural here of ma'im. Okay, so almeh, on the waters. Menuhot. Now, we're going to see 3 times in the psalm words that are based on nun chet, and that brings us back to Noah. Okay? Noah is the one who comforts, the one who's calm. So menuhot. The reason Noah got his name is that the earth was just so messed up. The Lord wanted to shut down the noise, shut down the ruckus. And so he said, Noah, build an ark. Noah built the ark. And then the Lord flooded the whole earth. And after that, there was a lot of Noah. I mean, there was the place that really, all the evil, all the bad stuff had shut down. In other words, that was menuhot. Things had gotten very calm. Okay. Menuhot. Things had gotten very still. Okay. I think that's probably one of the things. The flood's coming up. Wow, waves and all kinds of bad weather. And then when it's settling down, it's just quiet. Well, everything just has been made quiet. So, Benehot, Nechaleni, he leads me. Yenachaleni. There's a Shiva here. Yenachaleni. He leads to me. Okay, he leads me. Nafshi. Okay, Nafshi. Yeshovev. He restores, brings it back. Okay, doubled up bet here, which seems to make it a little more emphatic. Shuv is to return, restore, and so it's one of those shin bets that has a lot of ground to it. So he restores, he brings it back. Okay, my soul has been afflicted. I've been in trouble, but now the pastor's here, and he brings my soul back. He brings it back to the calmness that we have here in this particular part of the verse here. Okay, Yeshaveh, nachalein, and this verb. Notice there's an anna right here. So structurally, this verb belongs to the next passage. But if you're taking a look at here, if you're going to be singing this, you're going to put this yenacheni, yenachaleni, yenacheni. He leads me, and then it goes on to the next passage. Now the next passage doesn't have the lovely blocks of versification. So the very first part of the psalm is beautifully blocked out for, if you're going to sing it, this is how you would sing it through, and put all the stanzas, put some musical notes on the top of it, and you would be able to sing this. The Lord's my shepherd, I shall not want. So it's been placed into English songs, of course. So Yehaleni. So this verb actually officially belongs to the next line, but for singing it, you'd put it in this line. Okay, so here the word is, the whole psalm is structured for singing. So we move on to the next line. Yehaleni, so he leads me. Be magalot sedek. You got agal. Now the gimel lamed is a root that I'm always looking for. And gal is something that's round, Gilgal, the round camp, Golgol, the round head, Galil, the round lake, and so forth. So Abigail, my father's spinning around, and even in verbs, you can see the Gimat Lamet. Now, Magale, this is also reference to the track that goes around the inside of a city wall, so that the guards can walk through it. Okay, so and that's how this particular word is used. Magale, it's something that's round and it's something that you follow as a path. So in paths, megale, tzedek, in righteous paths. This is a pathway that we are constantly walking in. It's a pathway it's a well-worn rut. I would say it's a well-worn pathway that we are used to. The pathways that we are used to. Okay. Megale Sedek, and paths that we are used to, righteousness, and paths of righteousness. And he leads me, Yehaleni, Megale Sedek, he leads me, Leman Shemo, for the sake of Shemo, his name. Okay, his name. And reference here, this Shema's name, and when you put together Shemo, his name of his name, this is a third person pronoun here, suffix on here, belongs to him. So his name, talking about Jehovah here, the antecedent of this pronoun right here is Jehovah, Yehovah. So, Eman, Shemo, Gam, also. I got back to, I love the King James sometimes, and here it is, the King James got it just beautiful here. Yay, okay, Gam, also, and surely, okay, other ways of translating, but the King James seems to have picked it up very nicely here. Gam ki elech, even though I walk. Now we've seen etzar, I will diminish, or I will not diminish. Ki elech, even though I walk. So this is a prefix form of halach, okay, hey lamed kaf, and the aleph then is the first person singular prefix of this particular verb here. Even though I walk, be in ge valley. This is the narrow valley, the ones that closes you in, the one that's established Gihon, Gehenna, Bege, okay, even though I'm in the Gehenna, okay, wow, pretty dramatic here. Bege shal, okay, shal is shade or shadow, okay, it's also shade, okay, the shade at your right hand and so forth. Bege shal mavet. Mavet is death. Ooh, this is a dangerous road. Now, often modern translations will say, oh, I'm very dangerous places or something like that. But it is very much valley of the shadow of death. In other words, boy, death is close and I've been in danger or gotten very sick or something's put me in the shadow of death. And it's like sometimes you have these pictures of the reaper standing there with his black cloak. Okay, yeah. So Bege Shalmavet, in the valley of the shadow of death. Lo ira rach. Now, there's a G sound sometimes to the ayin. Now irach. Take a look here. You got elech, and then no, irei. I will not fear. Okay, so there's a prefix form also, same as etzar, same as elech, and here we got irach, irach, and I will not fear. And then the full root is there of fear, yod resh aleph. Okay, this is very easy to confuse with resh aleph hey, to see, but it's to fear. I will not fear. Rach, and just to sort of separate these out, they, like in Gaza and Gomorrah and some of these other names, the ayin does have a G sound to it. And I just want to put a touch of G sound to it, okay? Irach rag, okay? I will not fear evil. I will not fear evil. Evil is what the Rashim, the evil ones, would push on to me. The ones that would, the servants of Satan are the ones that's going to throw rach at me. Okay, I will not fear rach. Ki ata. Now this ata is an independent pronoun. You. Okay. I really should have put this one in capitalized right here, because this is in terms of Jehovah, Yahweh, Yehovah. Okay. Ki ata imdi. Imadi. You are with me. Okay. Imadi. These are it's a preposition with and with me, with a pronoun suffixed here. So, and what happens here, you have very much a shift in person. Okay, for the first half of the psalm is he does this to me, 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 and then boom, all of a sudden David goes, it's like turning around and pointing his finger at the Lord and say, now you, now you, ki ata, okay, imadi, because you are with me. Wow. Okay, now all of a sudden we just have turned around and taken our binoculars or our telescope and pointed it at the Lord, okay? Ve'ata, and you, imadi, you're with me. Shivtecha u meshantecha. Shivtecha is the rod, okay? And this is a rod that establishes identity. And in fact, if you can look it up in the dictionaries and so, it's quite often means the tribe. And the way it defined a tribe is that when the tribes were traveling through the desert, each one had its standard in front of where the camp was of that particular tribe. So Shivtecha, the rod, the one that establishes the tribe, the ones that gives authority, the one that has power. So Shivtecha, this is the one that's got the power to it, the rod. St. Francis of Assisi says, oh, that's the rod that's clobbering the enemies. In a certain sense, it's true. Okay? The rod, the one that has power to it. Shivatecha. Umishantecha. I looked this one up, and one of the lovely stories around Mishantecha is that when Elisha sent Gehazi to restore life or to protect the life of the boy that had fallen sick, and he said, go there and put Mishantecha, put the rod, put the staff on the face of this child. In other words, so this is the sort of thing that comforts and guides and protects and so forth. So, and also, I think it's in one of the later prophets, the old people are sitting around the city, and these are the ones that hold the older people up, okay? These are the ones that give us the strength, you know. We need a cane, we need a staff. These are the things that hold us up, okay? Mishantecha, your staff, okay? Hema, those things. This is a demonstrative, no, this is an independent plural pronoun, okay? It's hema. I believe it also we use as a demonstrative, okay? Hema. Hema, nechamuni. Again, take a look here. Nun chet. Very clear nun chet. Nechamuni, they comfort me, okay? Those things, they comfort me. They comfort me not because there are things, but there are things that the Lord is using to comfort me, to give me comfort, to protect me, to keep me quiet. Okay, nechamuni, those things. And again, take a look at the yod starting this thing. This is it's here. Here it is they use the kibbutz here to sort of give this a third person sense, and so Yechanmuni, they comfort to me. Okay, so we again see the yod here, the yod opening and the yod and the nun yod to me. They are comforting to me. Taroch, okay, taroch. This is you set, you spread out. Actually, roch Roch is to Rav, Roch, something that's spread out. Taroch, Lifnei, before me. Now this is, you take a look, you think, my, this has to be a mem. Let's compare this mem to that one, okay? This is not a mem, it's a nun yod, okay? Lifnei, before my face, you prefer before my face. Shulhan, this is a table. Neged, before, okay, neged. Shorai, my enemies. One of the, in English, one of the ways to, what I call a mnemonic device, to remember this, shorai, those who make me sore, those who shorai, the ones who are bothering me, the ones who are attacking me, my enemies, shorai. Construct plural here on the end here, shorai, those who are my enemies to me. Oh, the yod then would have a double meaning here. Shorai, it says contracts, but also those are enemies to me. Okay, Hebrews will do that. In other words, look it up in Blue Letter Bible. I'm not sure which way they would go on this one, but Shorai, enemies to me. Dash not. Okay, remember I said Deshet would again appear, and this one's here is Deshanta. You anoint or make it. Dashet is to make something grow well. Okay, so Dashanta, you anoint. Beshemen, with oil. Bashemen. Roshi, my head. Okay? Roshi, Rosh is the head. This is very much the root of the Resh. Resh is the original hieroglyphic based letter, a consonant that was here, looked like a head. Okay, so Roshi, my head. Unite my head with oil. Beshemen. Shemen, of course, is oil. Oil is very much a blessing. And it's incidentally, you could use the word Masha or Mashiach. Didn't. He used, in other words, it was a little bit more descriptive of how things would be in a garden. So, Deshanta, you anointed, Beshemen, with oil, Roshi, my head. Okay? And so, and it's giving good health care. Okay? Good coverage to my head here. Okay, Roshi, Koshi, my cup. Here we do have a section of the Codex that suffered some damage, and so it went this far to Koshi. The yod, you can just barely see it behind this little. I sometimes wonder, the people who are restoring it had put some coverings on here, because it kind of looks like it got covered with a piece with some tissue paper or something here. Koshi, my cup. Revia, it runs over. It's Revia. It runs over. It has we're going to see a lot of the resh picking up through here. Rosh and Koshi Revia. It runs over. That's one of the reasons I did use the word runs here, because it's sort of the same thing. Okay, Koshi Revia. Ak, certainly, surely. Okay, ak. It's like put the brakes on and say ak. Ooh, ow. I say exclamatory word here. Okay, ak. Tov veheshed. Okay, good. And tov is good or goodness. Okay, and it's quite often used as an adjective, but here it's apparently as a noun. Tov vehesed. And Hesed is almost always when it's in its root form, it's going to be a double segol right here, two segols with a mil el accenting. So the Hesed, goodness and mercy, Aktov behesed, yer de funi. The scribe here has a tendency to just sort of The pei has to have its tongue, and he sometimes detaches the tongue out. I don't know if there's another pei around here. So he's a little bit creative in how he forms his pei, the pei here. Yerdafuni. Yerdaf is often taken in a very negative sense of those who are chasing us around and causing us trouble. But here it's ak tov v'hesed, that is goodness and mercy, chase us around. Yerdafuni, they are follow us. They're after us. They're certainly with us. And again, look at it as something the Lord does for us. Yehovah is the one that is actually coming after us with goodness and mercy. And quite often we sort of seem, or we sort of think, oh, goodness and mercy are just sort of come to us in quiet moments. No, goodness and mercy will chase us when we are running as well. So, Aktove Hesed, Yerdafuni are following me around or chasing me around. And here again, look at what we've seen right at the start. Okay, we've seen Yehaleni, Yaini, Yerasheni. Okay, and here we got Yod again here. They follow me. Okay, they follow me around. Okay, Yerdafuni. Kol Yame, all the days. Yom here is the root word. This is the construct form of the plural. Okay, Yame, Hain, of my life. Okay, and again, the Yod at the end, very similar to this Yod, of my life, of what I live. Okay, my life. Ve Shavti, this is a Yod here at the end. Yod. We've got a lot of Yods going on here. Yod. This is a construct plural. Yod. This is the Yod of my life. This is I live here. And Yerdafuni, they chase me. Shavti, bebait, in the house of Yehovah. And here it's something kind of interesting in that you got Jehovah, Yehovah. You got the Yod with the Shava, Yeh. Then you got the Hey with the and the modern people put this one in as a Revia. It looks a whole lot like a Holem to me. Okay, now I'm going to take it as a Holem. Okay, Yehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. Okay, Yehovah. Le Aroch Yamim. Remember I said the Resh is the one that's going to be popping up a lot here, and we have it here, Roshi, and we got it here in Yerdafuni, and here's Aroch. Remember Taharoch, Shulhan, Shorai. That one has a lot of Resh in it as well. So Roch, and so this is stretched out. Okay, Taroch. So it's the word, Rav is to be large or stretched out, and here's Taroch for long, stretched out. Yamim, days. This particular word here, Yod Mem Yod, is the construct form of days, and this is Yod Mem Yod Mem, which is the absolute form plural also in here. Yamim Beyameh. Beautiful psalm, lots of what I call word pictures. You have Yehovah walking ahead of us with his staff and his rod. You have him leading us to green pastures. You have him bringing us to still waters. In ancient times, Jerusalem was known for still waters because the waters that flow under the city were still and calm and quiet, whereas the waters that flow down the Euphrates were flood waters. So the writers, especially Isaiah, would compare the floodwaters of the Assyrians with the quiet waters of the Israelites. So there's a difference. There's a quiet waters, and then the rod and the staff, and then the table set in front of the enemies. It's a high contrast. Okay, so when you're sitting down at the table, it's a quiet, beautiful domestic scene. And surrounding that are the bad guys who are looking at you and really can't get at you. Why? Because the pastor's the pastor, the shepherd, is holding them at bay. And so it's just a beautiful word pictures. And then here, get into this part here. The oil's flowing over my head, getting a really nice hairdo from oil that the Lord is spilling on top of my head in great abundance. Okay, and then my cup is overflowing. I've got plenty enough, and of what I need to the good things to drink, and it's a symbol of the Lord's generosity with us. Not that we're rich or famous. It's just that the Lord is very good to us. So, Aktov Hesed and goodness and mercy, Yerdafuni, the chase. It's a very active sense of this Yerdafuni, chasing us. Kol Yamei, all the days of my life. Shavti, and I dwell, I live. Okay, I'm living in the house of the Lord forever. And this is quite often, when you get to the end here and you're looking towards the end, the end stretch, it becomes also a future sense. In other words, I am going to be looking forward to living in the house of Jehovah. I'm looking forward to living in the heavenly city for many long stretched out days. This is what the Lord has promised to me, and this is something that I'm looking forward to. So those of us who are followers and believers of Yeshua, he is the one that provides all of this, and he's the one that has gone to the heavenly city to prepare a place for us. And just a beautiful word picture that, standing before us is the house of the Lord. And the Israelite people consider the house of the Lord to be Jerusalem. And Jesus said, no, Jerusalem's going to be destroyed, and in its place will we enjoy a heavenly city. So that's what we look forward to. And if you're a follower and believer in Christ, that's something gives you and us very great comfort, and most certainly make that invitation to look to Yeshua, look to Jesus, to be your Savior, to be your shepherd. When you find trials and troubles in life, look to Him. He's the one that's there with the rod and the staff. Might have to beat it on you a little bit before He takes a whacks at the enemies, but the Lord is with us, and He guides us and protects us through it all. May the Lord bless and Lord guide you and us in this day. Until the next time.